Hi, and happy Friday. Welcome to our Facebook Friday. Today, we are going to make some cards using the Inspiring Imperfections stamp set. And I should say dies as well with the bundle. This set is really pretty, but to me, what really makes it is the paper. And let me show you what that paper looks like. Whoops, let me get one that has more whole sheets in it so that you don't have to see all of the pieces. This paper is really pretty. It has gold foil running through most of it, which just really makes it pretty. So I'll try to show you these where you can see each one. So we have these pinks with the blues that are really pretty. Here's another blue pattern. And this one has like a vanilla color with the gold running through it on the back. And then we have another sheet of the petal pink with blue, these blue flowers that are just beautiful. We also have this, which is really nice, which is the cloud cover with the almost a light misty moonlight blue. And then this page is one of my favorites, but it has all of these different patterns and pieces. It looks like broken pottery with the gold running through, but it's really pretty. And then we have another piece of misty moonlight with white with gold running through it. And that's it. So that is and you get two of each one of these sheets, and they're all double-sided. But it's just a really pretty set. And so we're going to use some of that today on our cards. And then I also use this set this month for my club. And I will show you those cards after we make these. Let me grab my stamp cleaner because I'm sure we're going to need that at some point. So, to start with, if you would like to join my email list to see my ordering specials, please go to inkycreationsbylinda.com and you can join my email list. If you would like to get a card kit making the 3 cards that we make today, everything that you see us do today will be sent to you, including the ribbon and the embellishments. You will get enough embellishments to make each of the cards, and enough ribbon to make each of your cards as well. Everything will be cut, die cut, dry embossed for you, and you can use this QR code to place an order of $40 or more, and you will receive this card kit. So let's get started on our first card. Our first one uses one of our new in colors. It's the cloud cover cardstock, and it's really pretty, but that's what we're using for our card base. And it is just 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. And then you will have a piece of designer series paper, and we are going to just adhere this to the top of that. Before I get into that, let me show you something that a friend of mine sent me this week that is just so nice and so fun. She sent me this super cute little, I don't know, kind of like a caddy holder, but it holds all of my adhesives and my bone folder and snips and glue dots. Anyway, super nice. And I have her card here somewhere. Let me find that. Well, I'm not sure what I did with it. Oh, I know where it is. It's right here. And it is Betsy, and it is Craftinated Betsy. And here is her information if you are interested in getting one of these for yourself. But it's super cute and very handy and nice to keep all of your stuff right there together so that you're not searching for things. I will also put this information in the email that goes out today. So if you are on my email list, you will get that. So we are going to adhere this paper to the front of our cardstock, or card base rather. So let's just put some glue and put that down and center it. I think this paper is so pretty. It's, I don't know, I just love blues, which is always fun, but it's just nice to have something that's, I don't know, kind of just subtle, but yet it's just really delicate. Very nice. And then you will have a white die cut rectangle that comes from the Textured Notes. And I am actually going to go ahead and pop this up on some dimensionals. And you can tell that I actually used the back of a sheet of something that I had already used, but didn't end up, it ended up going into my scrap paper file, and it was perfect to use for the other side for this. Yours will not be like that. It will be paper that has not been used if you place a $40 or more order. All right, so we are going to just center this on the front of our card on dimensionals. And then what we're going to do now is these are some of the stamps, and you can tell these are very loved because I've already been using them quite a bit. We are going to stamp this onto here, and then you can either fussy cut or die cut this out. If you don't have the dies, you can fussy cut it. But obviously if you have the dies, that makes it even nicer. So I'm going to use Misty Moonlight ink, and this is just a scratch piece of blue or Misty Moonlight paper. I have had the hardest time with this particular ink pad. It just does not want to open up for me sometimes. Okay, so I'm going to stamp one of the small bowls onto our Misty Moonlight. Okay, and then just let that kind of sit for a second. And then using Lost Lagoon on a scrap piece of Lost Lagoon cardstock, I'm going to stamp the taller vase. So let me ink that up and do that. There we go. All right, I'm going to set these off to the side, and then I'm also going to clean my stamps so that I don't wind up mixing the colors, because sometimes that happens if I don't clean them right away, and I don't want to do that. There we go. All right, so you will have this, and you can either die cut it or just fussy cut it out. I have already die cut these out so that you would not have to watch me die cut these. So they are done for us. So now what we're going to do is on our card, we are going to take the Lost Lagoon one and kind of put it up just a little bit. And then before I adhere anything down, just kind of place it there and see where I want to put it. And then you will have a piece of cloud cover cardstock. Hi, Tammy. And we are going to stamp on it with the Misty Moonlight ink. Let me grab that one. Here it is. And we are going to stamp. I know you'll get through this and be stronger for it. I think that's just a really pretty sentiment. So let's stamp this. There we go. Set that off to the side so I don't wind up with ink all over me. And then I am going to put this down here toward the bottom. So I may move these up just a little bit just to give me a little bit more room. So I'm going to adhere this one flat. So I'm going to just put a little bit of adhesive on the back side of it. And we will just kind of place that to where it's flat, but yet it's off to the left just a little. And then we're going to take the Misty Moonlight one and overlap the Lost Lagoon. And so I'm going to pop this one up on dimensionals. So let's use some of our smaller dimensionals. I hope you guys are having a good week and you're ready for the weekend. It's always nice when we get to our Fridays. All right, and so then I am just going to kind of put this, and I'm going to make the bottoms kind of even because I want the cloud cover sentiment to kind of go over the bottoms of both of these. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put dimensionals on this side and glue dots on this side so that it will be at the same height as the other one. So I'm just going to put one dimensional there, and then we will take our, had to grab my take your pick tool and use a mini glue dot and put it on the other side. Oops. There we go. So, and then I'm just going to center this and then just kind of go over just the bottom of that to where, try to get it straight. There we go. And then I am using, this is actually the pack of ribbon that is the Misty Moonlight and white. It's a 1/4 inch starter ribbon pack, but this is a really nice set if you're just wanting 2 different colors of ribbon, and it's not super expensive. I think these 2 rolls, I want to say they each have 5 yards on them if I remember right, and it's like $5 for this, so it's really not a bad deal at all. So I am going to use the white one for this. And I am just going to tie a bow with our white ribbon. And I like this one because it's a nice width and it's not super fat. So it makes it really easy just to tie your bows and kind of shape them to the size that you want. All right, so let's just trim that out. Grab my snips. And I don't want it to be a ginormous bow, so I'm just cutting it a little bit small. There we go. Trim this side just a little bit more. All right, and then we'll use a miniature glue dot, and we will kind of adhere this down at the bottom left corner of our sentiment. And then for the embellishments this week, we are using one we haven't used before called Muted Palette Dots. And these are really pretty. They have these different colored dots. They're in the Petal Pink, the Darling Duckling, the Cloud Cover, and then Mossy Meadow. So we're going to use a couple of the Cloud Cover ones on this one and just kind of place those in this open white spot especially, and it'll kind of fill that in a little bit. And then we'll put one more maybe down here, and you can put more if you have these on yours if you want more, but sometimes I just like to make it kind of simple and not put a lot and let the paper and everything speak for itself. So here is card number 1. All right, so at the end, I will show you all the cards, and you'll have to let me know which one is your favorite. All right, so card number 2 is going to start off with a Misty Moonlight card base. And I love this paper. It's just so pretty. And then what we're going to do, so you'll have this DSP that will already be cut for you, and this is our standard card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, and then our DSP is 4 by 5 1/4, and we are just, nope, we are not going to adhere this. Before you adhere this down, this is where I get myself in trouble more times than not. we are going to use some tear and tape because we are going to wrap our white ribbon around the bottom third of this, okay? So I know we've done this a couple of other times, but if you haven't seen one of our videos, what I do is we put a piece of tear and tape at each end. Here we go. And we will tear off the top so that we have the sticky side showing. Whoops, it's only supposed to take the top off and not the whole thing. There we go. And then we will take our white ribbon, and I've kind of come to the end of this roll. Whoops, sounded a little louder than I needed to. And then we're just going to kind of wrap this around and then just fasten it on the back with your finger and just hold it down. And then you'll want to pull it straight across. And then on the other side, do the same thing. Just kind of tuck it down. And then we'll use some scissors and cut off the excess. And then what I like to do, because I don't want to take a chance of it falling off, is I will take another piece of tear and tape. If I can find it, here we go. Sometimes finding the ends is a little struggle. And then you're just gonna kind of sandwich that over the top so that it holds down that ribbon and you don't have to worry about it coming off. Because sometimes if you don't do that, this other part may not stay adhered, and then it will, all of a sudden your card will have little frills or fringes of white ribbon that you didn't want to have. Okay, so now that we have that down, we're going to go ahead and adhere this whole piece to the front of our card base. I cannot believe it is already, you know, the first week of June is finished. It's just craziness. Time is going by so quickly. All right, I'm going to raise this side up just a little because I just want it to be straight. This is what I like about the multi-purpose glue. Gives you a couple of extra seconds to kind of work some of this in. There we go. So, and then you can just kind of push that down a little bit if you think it's not straight. All right, so there we go. So now we have the front of our card base. So now what we're going to do, you will get in your card kit, these will either be die cut for you or they will be cut around the designer series paper because that's where this comes from. And then you will get to die cut or fussy cut them yourself. I will probably go ahead and die cut them just so it's one less thing you have to do. But we're going to take these and we're just going to space these out along the front part of this. And so I am going, I'll tell you what, I'm going to, yep, we'll just do it like that. And I am going to use dimensionals on these just to pop them up just a little. So let me grab our big dimensionals, and we're just going to make like an even line of these across. If you are just joining us, we are using the Inspiring Imperfections set today with the Kintsugi designer series paper that is really, really pretty. I love the colors in this. It's just, I don't know, kind of simple. To me, it's just relaxing. It's just a nice color palette with your soft pinks and blues. Just very pretty. All right, so then we will pop this one up and then we'll do our last one. I'm just trying to make sure I kind of space these evenly. It's a little easier to do it when I'm not looking over my phone. So when you're putting yours together, Hopefully it'll make it a little simpler for you. Here we go. There you go. So now you're just going to have these 3 straight across like that. And then you will have a small die cut label from the perennial postage dies. And we are going to stamp with Misty Moonlight ink the words, "You inspire me." And so this would be a great card to send to someone who has just maybe inspired you with either something they've gone through or something they've taught you. But anyway, I thought it was just a pretty sentiment. So I'm going to let that dry for just a second. And while it is, I'm going to go ahead and tie a small bow with this ribbon, because I know I need to do that here in a second. And I might as well do that while the ink is drying. Do you guys have any big plans for the weekend? It is supposed to be another hot weekend here in Texas. Oh my goodness. I think today I ran out at lunch and ran to the grocery store, and I think it said it was already 94, but it was super humid today. So it felt like it was a lot hotter than that. I am not a big fan of humidity. It's the reason I don't move somewhere like Florida, or I have a son that lives in St. Louis, and he's always telling me that it's too hot in Dallas, and we joke around about it because I'm like, well, you may not think it's hot in St. Louis, but it's muggy and it's just kind of gross. All right, so we are going to adhere this to kind of to the right on the 2 vases that are on the end. So I'm just going to use mini glue dots on this because I don't really want to pop it up any more than it already is. So let me grab a couple of glue dots and put them on here. All right, so we will put that down, and then we'll use a miniature glue dot for this. And just put this down on the bottom left corner of our label. And then we will use the muted palette dots again, and I'm going to use the petal pink ones this time because I just think they're so pretty. And just kind of decorate again, and I don't think it needs a lot, because to me it's just kind of a simple card, but yet it's just the paper is what makes it so pretty. So this is card number 2, and it says, "You inspire me." How fun. All right, and then let's do our final card. And I will tell you, the embossing folder that comes in this suite is just absolutely gorgeous. It's called, oh my goodness, let me grab it really quick and I'll give you the correct name. Well, I do not see it, but I know it's around here. I will put this in the email whenever I send it out, but it's like a broken pottery, and it's just really, really pretty. I had it out earlier, and I've actually been working on cutting the cards from my club. So it's probably sitting here on my desk somewhere in front of me, and I just can't see it. Let's see. I do not see it. So we're just going to move on, and we will talk through it here in just a minute. All right, so you will have this piece of embossed petal pink, which uses this embossing folder, and this is part of the Kintsugi suite if you're looking for the embossing folder, and it's in that. And I just cannot remember what the actual name is, and I don't see it sitting here, and I know it's here. And so you'll have a petal pink card base, and so we will take our petal pink embossed piece of paper that is 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals. So let me grab those, and we will put these on the back. I'm a real sucker for embossing folders. I just think they add so much texture to your cards, and they just really look pretty. And they're not super hard to just kind of help your cards just kind of go up just a little bit. So we are going to center this on our card and then press that down. Okay, and then you will have a couple of pieces or one big piece of Misty Moonlight cardstock and then a piece of white. And what we're going to do is we are going to stamp, and I did 2 because I didn't think one would be big enough. We are going to stamp 2 of the tall vases in the Misty Moonlight on the Misty Moonlight paper, and then 1 of the small vases on the white cardstock. So let's do the big ones first. So I'm going to ink this up, and I love tone on tone. I just think whoops, that did not go well. This is why we get 2 sides to cardstock. See if we can do a better job this time. And put that down. Here we go. That looks a little better. And then we'll do 1 more. Okay. And then you will have a piece of white, and we're also going to use Misty Moonlight with it, and we're going to stamp the smaller vase on it. I just love this set. It reminds me of when I was a kid. My mom we always called them blue dishes, but these blue dishes, and they kind of had this same kind of pattern. They were white with the Misty Moonlight looking blue, except I didn't know what Misty Moonlight was back then, but I just think it's really pretty. And then with the magic of TV, these have actually already been die cut for us. So here we go. And like I said, you will get the cardstock, and you can either fussy cut around this or die cut this out if you have the dies, and you can do that. And then we do have one other piece of stamping, so we're going to go ahead and do that. And this comes from the Perennial Postage, and our saying is going to say, "Thanks for helping me through this difficult time." And so we're going to stamp this. There we go. I'll go ahead and close this up because I think we're through with all of our stamping now. Close up our Lost Lagoon from the first card. All right, so now we're just going to put this together. So I think petal pink and blue are always pretty, and so that's always kind of fun. So I want to kind of space these out, but I'm going to pop some of them up on dimensionals. So I want to do, actually I think I'm going to do this just the opposite, make this one a little bit higher. So I want to glue this one flat, so I'm going to use my adhesive and put some glue on this. And it doesn't take a lot. And obviously you can use seal if that's your preference. I tend to like the multi-purpose glue because it gives me a couple of seconds to move things around if I want to change where it is. And then I'm going to pop this one on the right up on dimensionals, but I'm going to raise this one up just a little bit because I want to give it some height, and I'll show you why here in a second. So let me grab a couple of dimensionals. Whoops. Helps if you pull the top all the way off and not just a portion of it. So, all right, so then we're just going to pop this up just a little bit. And then we are going to take the one that we stamped with the white and we're going to put it right here. But I'm only going to put a dimensional down here because I want to leave this open because the DSP has these flowers and they're already, I started to say stamped, but they're already in the DSP. And then I just die cut this out, but we're going to kind of put this to where it sticks up like that. And you can even make it go all the way down and hide that leaf if you'd like. It's however you would like to see that. So I'm just going to put a dimensional kind of toward the bottom, and then we can always tuck a glue dot in there after. So let me grab, I'm just going to use one of the small dimensionals because I don't want it to stop me from being able to put that flower down there. So this is just going to kind of hold it in place for the moment. And then I'm going to put some glue dots on the back of this. We'll do one more. And then we will just kind of tuck this down in here. I think we'll put it like that. And then now I'm going to put a couple of glue dots on our flower, or I'm sorry, on our white vase so that it kind of holds it in place a little bit. There we go. And then we'll do one on the other side. There we go. And that'll kind of hold that in place. And then we are going to take our sentiment and we're going to just tuck that edge right underneath there. So we're just going to use regular adhesive on the back of it. And we will just kind of tuck that in and not cover up the words. There we go. And get it straight. There we go. And then we will take out of that package of ribbon that had the white and the blue. This is Misty Moonlight ribbon. We are going to take this and tie a bow and put this at the base of our white and blue smaller vase. Whoops. Well, if I can tie a bow, let's try this again. I think my fingers got mixed up there for a second. Here we go. Well, that did not come out the way I wanted it to. I need it to be flat. There we go. It's a little better. All right. So I don't want it to be a big bow. I just want kind of a smaller one. So let me trim off the edges. Move this over. Trim this a little more. There we go. All right, and then we'll use a mini glue dot to attach this to the bottom. All right, so, and then we will take our muted palette dots again, and let's just kind of decorate this one. I think I might put a couple of extra dots on this one because this is just kind of subtle with the tone on tone. It's kind of pretty. So we'll do one down here and maybe another one over in here. And then how about if we do one kind of toward the bottom, and then we'll do one more big one, maybe, I don't know, maybe kind of around right there. Here we go. So this is card number 3. So these are really fun. So these are 3 cards that we made today. Again, if you would like a card kit to make these 3 cards, you can place an order with me Here is the QR code to go to my online store, and you can place an order with me for $40 between now and next Thursday, and I will send you a card kit to make these 3 cards. If you would like to join my email list, please go to inkycreationsbylinda.com, and you can do that there. And just to give you a sneak peek, this month, and you have from now until the 15th of June to register, this is the set that I am using for my club cards. And here is an example or a sneak peek of what each of these look like. Everything, you will receive everything you see here, but enough to make 2 of each card. You will get a half a pack of designer series paper plus a full pack of the ribbon as well as the embellishments. Oh, and I didn't show you that. Let me show you. This is fun. So on the club kit, I used these embellishments, which are the flower accents, and they're gold, and they're just really pretty, and they add a lot of sparkle and kind of bring out that gold that you see throughout the paper, which is fun. So if you have any questions, please feel free to leave something in the comments, and I will definitely get back with you, or you can send me a direct message. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and thank you so much for watching, whether it's live or on the replay, but I really appreciate your help, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.